Hello?
Hey, you guys, and welcome to the Steele Wars Hypernews for the 19th of October 2018. Welcome to the internet, and for the next hour or so, we'll be talking Star Wars and taking your calls. And we've also already got a bustling hold line, and if you want to join that line, it is 646-668-8360. I want to give a big hello to everyone in the chat room. We've got Tom Chansky, the King Tom. We've got Emily. We've got the Rural Farm Boy. Catherine down in Australia. We've got Claire. And one of my favorite people that hangs out in the chat room, an anonymous guy who comments. Very honest about himself. Very honest about himself. Anonymous guy who comments also says, I am wearing a nice shirt, and I appreciate that. That is my Your Snoke Theory Sucked t-shirt, which you can get on the Mercho store, which there'll be a link. If you're watching this on delay, you can pick up all things Steele Wars there. And I've got to give a shout out to our good friend Dom Legaspi, who did an awesome tribute to Your Snoke Theory Sucked, which you can see on his Twitter, and I retweeted it. A very fun musical interlude. Joining us today, hopefully, on the show from the Rogue One podcast, one with a W, it's my buddy, Johnny Grasso. Are you there, Johnny?
Yes, what's up, Stu? How are you, man?
I'm cool. What happened to your personality?
What? I'm here. Oh, yo! How are you? I usually try and save that for Rogue One, but, I thought I'd try and be myself, but no one likes myself.
Oh, so. God. Are we already on the couch? We're only a minute in.
What's up?
I said,
yeah, I'm good.
Okay. All right. Excellent. Hello to everyone in the chat and on hold. Hey, Grasso, I got some news for you. Have you got the people are actually liking your little logo in the corner of the screen with the dolphin. People are giving you some props for that. But have you got the screen up, Johnny? Have you got the YouTube up?
Yeah, I had it up.
Okay.
And then closed down. Let me try it again.
Well, I'm going to chuck up a something that's just breaking news on the internet, but not only is making Star Wars.net's Jason Ward hiding in the bins on the Mandalorian set, George Lucas, GL, visited the set of The Mandalorian today, which is actually Jon Favreau's birthday. So that dude's got it all. He's directing or producing Star Wars TV, and George Lucas visited. What do you think about that, Johnny?
I think it's amazing. I think it's amazing that Jason was able to get George Lucas on set and snap photos for him. That's how amazing Jason Ward is, ladies and gentlemen. George Lucas works for Jason the Ward. You heard it on Steele Wars.
I'm not sure if these sources are credible, but it's really cool. The thing I like about it is George Lucas is lighting the shot with his phone, which I never even imagined George Lucas had a phone. I always heard he'd never had email or something, which is very bizarre. But it's cool. I love seeing Lucas hanging out on the on Star Wars sets, getting to just be a part of the magic,
And did you check the Skywalker wine that he's shining the light on?
Ah, that's what it is. So he brought him a little bit of wine for his birthday. That is some cool stuff. And the Rural Farm Boy in the chat room says that Lucas is there taking photos for Jason. So that explains it. Are you on?
You don't think about this picture?
Go, Johnny.
What? Oh, what I really like about this picture is that me, with my very modest salary, and George Lucas with his $4 billion, we have similar phones. So I don't really have phone envy right now.
You've got phone envy, or you don't have phone envy?
I don't. It looks like George Lucas actually has like a later model phone for $4 billion. I don't know. I thought he can, since he owns the word droid, I can see why he chose that phone.
Oh, what? You can tell what sort of phone that is?
Yeah, it's not an iPhone, so I'm assuming it's Android.
Okay, well, if
I mean, they pay him to use the word droid, so I mean, the least he can do is use their phone.
They don't. Do they really pay him to use the word droid?
Yeah, well, not him anymore. Now it goes right to Disney, but originally, because he droid was his made up word, and they used it like droid. Remember?
Yeah,
They had to give him money for that.
Okay, can someone in the chat room Google that for me? I don't want to besmirch Johnny's reputation, but I have heard him on the podcast report of a Thundercats movie in production, so I'm a little bit tentative of of Johnny's reporting there. I value his opinion, though. I value his opinion. It's just his reporting skills. When he has a scoop, sometimes he's scooping through something else. And for someone that's so adamantly against Mike Zero, Johnny, it's ironic.
Triggered.
Gosh. Let's take a call. If anyone is on hold and they want to chat, just hit 1 on your dial phone. If you've got a rotary phone, you're tough out of luck, you guys. But it's interesting. I just saw on the Washington Post, they have an article about Chuck Wendig getting fired, which is very interesting that it's made its way to the Washington Post. And there's been a reported spike in bots around that whole thing. Did you see that, Johnny?
Yes, I did.
Do you have an opinion?
I do. I think it's absolutely rubbish that Chuck Wendig was fired for simply speaking his mind, not even, that poorly. Every time he spoke his mind, it was usually in self-defense of some troll. And then later we find out, like you said, like some, spam bots and whatnot. But what Marvel did under the pressure of like a handful of people was just I too feel extremely sorry for the guy because his career was really launching. He was doing a lot of stuff for Star Wars. He could have been writing, more Star Wars films, and it's just a real shame. And what's more disturbing is that it's empowering these trolls to do more things like this. So let's say, I don't know, Ryan Johnson, for example, says something negative that they don't like. What are they gonna? They're gonna go after him with spam bots and harass him and trap him into saying something and take something he said and blow it up and try and cost him his job. It's disgusting that Disney and Marvel are empowering these trolls to go after the creators. It's just disgusting.
Yeah, and I know he did a big purge. Ryan Johnson, this is of like 10,000 tweets or something. You can do like a mass purge. There's a certain way to do it. But and people are like, oh, what's he trying to hide? And it's like, it's nothing. But why? What's the point of having 8-year-old tweets up there for people to try to exploit later on? Bethany Lucina, who's been on the podcast talking about her study about bots and Star Wars discourse, particularly against women in the fandom. Tweeted that Wendig's firing was a win for Comicsgate. She was the one that sort of worked out that there was a huge surge in the bots around Wendig around that. Wendig's firing was a win for Comicsgate without Ethan Van Shriver amplifying the controversy. The Twitter fight would have been much smaller. My guess there is a account farms that follow Van Shiver and other pundits for clues of who to troll next. And then, whatever his name is, Ethan Van Shiver said, Comicsgate wins when our indie comics projects succeed. That's it, period. Which is interesting because I've seen many tweets from this guy get retweeted and that sort of thing. None of them have ever been to promote a comic. I did see it when he tried to chop off a Rose Tico figure head, but I don't know. Was that to promote a comic? It seems like a mixed message. But let's go to a call and see what's on the mind of our Patreon supporter, Sam Scorsoni. What's going on, Sam?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Pretty
Johnny.
What's
good.
up, Sam? All right, Sam.
Hey, nice to finally talk to you on the phone.
Yeah, man. It's good to talk to you. Nice to meet you officially.
What's on your mind today, Sam?
Well, a couple of days ago, I ran a Twitter poll on what prequel armies did people want to see return in Episode 9 to help the Resistance. It was the Gungans, Separatist droids, or the Wookiees. So which prequel army did you want to see help the Resistance in Episode 9?
Ooh, I like that. I remember seeing that.
I want them all, Sam. I want everyone to come back.
Yeah, well, me too.
I want Wookiees fighting with Ewoks, fighting with battle droids that have been like reprogrammed, and Gungans. Man, get some Jawas in there. I don't care. I want an Infinity War level. Everyone teaming up to save the galaxy. What were the results, Sam?
Oh, yeah. Most people wanted Wookiees.
Yeah.
About 60% wanted Wookiees, and I think Gungans, and then the droids were like the least.
Oh, it's really sad. What the hell? I'm trying to get to this article about Richard E. Grant, and I have to answer like 27 surveys to get to it. But keep going. Sorry.
Well, I definitely would have liked the Wookiees, but you know, with everything that's been going on with the Jar Jar Binks revival, I wouldn't mind seeing Gungans either. But you know, Ahmad. By the way, Ahmad's best. His YouTube show and is amazing, and just for him, I would like to see the Gungans brought back. But my heart, you know, you guys know, like I named my best friend Chewbacca. You know, I'm a huge Chewbacca fan, but you know, if they gave the nod to Ahmad Best, got a little more Jar Jar in my life, I would really appreciate that as a true Star Wars fan. Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I love to see like a whole bunch of like cameos throughout the years, kind of like a greatest hit of a character kind of thing. But my only concern with that is there really like enough time in the movie to do that, or is it just going to be like a big battlefield and there's like Easter eggs galore of, oh hey, there's a Gungan, oh hey, So I don't know how you fit all that in.
Yeah, I just think.
Did you guys?
I don't think you need to like, have missions out to go fetch them all or anything like that. They can just turn up. And do you know who they turn up with?
Yeah.
Lando Calrissian.
Yeah, buddy.
And who knows? Maybe Lando's been, he's hanging out with Wedge, and they both rock up.
Yeah. Well,
and they've got some old friends.
Speaking of Chuck Wendig, it'd be kind of neat to be, they say like they stumble upon like an old like group of battle droids that are powered down or something, and they're like, who here can reprogram these? And you got Snap Wexley from Aftermath be like, I can do it.
Ooh.
Because he kind of tie that all in.
What happened to Mr. Bones in the end? Did he make it through?
Spoilers. I don't think so.
It's a 3-year-old book.
Oh, okay.
I feel like you've had your time to read it, you guys. Come on. I've read it and forgotten if he survived. So there you go.
I don't think he does.
What did you make of the George Lucas photo on the Mandalorian set, Sam?
I love it. I love seeing George Lucas around. I love that he's involved, and it just makes it more real and official. And it's not some little side project. He's there supporting Jon Favreau. It's really uplifting.
Yeah, I on the solo extras, the featurette that's got him and Ron Howard sitting at the Tajeric table, and Lucas sort of acts out Chewbacca like losing the game. Something about that just made me so happy. And my two wishes for the Galaxy's Edge is, one, that they film something there, like whether it's for a movie or for the Mandalorian, or I think it'd be so cool if they used the land as a set, because it would just make the land, or Galaxy's Edge, so legit. Like, obviously it's legit, but if you use that as a set as well, like, that's so cool. Like, to actually, if the few people that get to stand where they've filmed Star Wars, it is like, I've stood in a few places and it's very exciting. So to open that up for everyone to like be where they film Star Wars. But the other thing is, I really want them, the day before it opens, just let George Lucas in, just by himself or with some friends, and just have it all operating as it normally would, and just let him walk around Star Wars. Like, I just think that would be so rad. Sell it on pay-per-view. I'd pay $40 to watch it, to watch an edit of it. It would just be tremendous.
Oh, yeah.
Anything else going on, Sam?
And no, how's the baby?
The baby is great. We just went to a pumpkin patch, and he slept through the whole thing. So it was a total. He's not into pumpkins, which I can appreciate, because I know in America they this month they want to flavor everything with pumpkin, and I'm not even that hot on pumpkin flavored pumpkin. So just chill out, America. All right, with your little pumpkin and everything. But yeah, he's doing great. He is limiting my sleep and causing it to happen in weird times. And I almost put my phone in the toilet today for some reason, because I forgot I lifted the lid up. But apart from that, he's a delight. He's an absolute delight. So thanks for asking, man. I really appreciate that.
Hey.
All right, Sam. Thanks so much for your support and calling in, and I'll put you back on hold.
All right, guys. Talk to you later.
Cheers. All righty. This is the thing I was trying to find before, Johnny. Richard E. Grant, what was he in the other? Oh, he was in it. Jackie is, because she's doing a lot of nursing and just hanging out in bed and that sort of stuff. She's rewatching Girls. Did you ever watch Girls, Johnny? Johnny's not there. Excellent stuff. If anyone else wants to chat, press that button. But I don't know where Johnny's gone. This might be Johnny right here. Johnny, is this you? 714.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hey, Steele, what's up, buddy? It's Raj.
Raj, thank God. Oh my God. I don't know where Grasso is, dude, but
oh no, Grasso's gone?
He's there, like he's on the line, but he's not talking or hearing. So
yeah, he sounded pretty stoned for the first 5-10 minutes of this Hypernews, by the way.
Yeah, I don't know. He's a lot shyer when he's not on his own podcast. I was like, come on, where's the woo? Where's the vibe? Are you watching? Have you ever seen Girls, Raj? I don't.
Have I ever seen which one? What'd you say?
Girls, the TV show.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So Jackie's been rewatching that this week, and Richard E. Grant is actually in it. So many Star Wars people pop up in it. There was an episode with Mendo. Mendo was the father of someone. He admittedly he looked about 5 years older than her, but in the show apparently he's the father. But Richard E. Grant has he's out promoting Can You Ever Forgive Me at the BFI London Film Festival, and he said it was gobsmacking to be on the set of the new Star Wars film. I first saw Star Wars when I was a 20-year-old theatre student in 1977, and so to be in a movie 41 years later and to see that it is the real thing is absolutely astonishing. He says security on the set is like Fort Knox. And then he also commented he'd be thrilled to reprise his role of the manager of the Spice Girls if there was ever a sequel to their 1997 Spice World. So I don't know, man. If they bring that back, it's hashtag not my Spice Girls. I don't know if they'll get it right. I think Johnny Grasso's back. I'll see if he's here. Johnny, are you able to be heard?
Yes.
Nice.
Grasso.
Hello. What's up, Raj?
What's up, buddy? I was compelled to call because I was looking at that picture in the top left corner, and I was wondering how much it cost that dolphin to swim with you.
Yo, that was like an $800 day, dude. Oh, how much though? I just got the joke.
Was it $800? Huh? That's unbelievable. That's fantastic.
Dude, that was expensive.
Well, of
That's
course,
funny.
swimming with you would be, I would imagine.
What is on your mind in the world of Star Wars, though, Araj?
Okay, say that again. I'm sorry. You're going in and out a little bit.
What?
I told you.
Oh, chill out, buddy. What's on your mind in the world of Star Wars, Araj?
Oh, what's on my mind? You know what? I just opened my phone. I saw that Grasso was going to be on Hypernews, and I said Grasso and Saunders in one place at the same time in a weird kind of way through the internet.
We're trying.
Yeah, I was compelled to call, and I just wanted to say that picture of George Lucas was the first time I saw that, and how amazing was that? Because I was hiding in the bins with Mr. Ward as well that one evening, and to be near the set where Mr. Lucas has been to now is just that's pretty remarkable. And from looking at it from my eyes, it's just going to be really cool. I can't wait for it. And
yeah,
so pumped up.
I don't want to pop your bubble, Raj, but I get the feeling.
Was that not there?
Yeah, I feel like that's an interior set. I think it's part of the same. Like when you watch the show, it's in the same town. It looks very much like that. The Tatooine or not Tatooine or whatever. But
right.
I feel like that was an interior.
My bubble just was burst. That's okay. You
still got to go to a Star Wars set, buddy. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, Raj. Come on.
Yeah, that's right. I still got the privilege to go, and it was great. And can't wait for it regardless. But just want to
Raj,
say hello to you guys.
I have a theory, Raj. Can I run it by you?
Oh yeah, please.
George Lucas works for Jason the Ward now.
Yeah, I got a little gist of that when I just turned on the Hypernews. I get that. Yeah. And everybody works for all good. It's a full circle.
I don't know what's happening in the chat right now. I just glanced back at it and they're talking about Catherine Conine's talking about Josie and the Pussycats. Oh, it all comes back to Spice World. Okay, continue. Go back to it, but I don't know. I got to keep an eye on these people chatting around just on top. They're going to be talking about sports in there soon. It's really bad. Now Johnny Grasso, it is well known about your acting background. Do you know what I mean? You are the very poor man's Leonardo DiCaprio. I'm talking like really like strapped for cash. But I want to get your info, your opinion on this. Oscar Isaac, he's done a bunch of interviews. Not only is he taking a year off after he does Star Wars, which I think have a gap year. Poe Dameron. That's good. But he said that it's more of an improv vibe on things are a bit looser on the episode 9 set. Now, as a thespian yourself, what do you think of that?
Well, the advantages for improving is you spend months, and in Oscar's case, he's probably spent 4 or 5 years building the character Poe Dameron. So when you improv, you get to build from within, and you spend that time building your character and becoming that person. So when you improv, it's coming naturally from you, from the inside. Whereas a script, it's someone else's words. It's like, John or Larry Kasdan's words, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
So it becomes more real, more personal when you improv. So it'll actually make for a better performance.
Yeah, and I think it leads to like a better overall film if it's done, with restraint. Obviously it hampered Solo somewhat and caused 75% of it to get to refilmed. But when you look to The Empire Strikes Back and Harrison Ford's improv of "I love you, I know," like, is there a cooler line in cinema? Is there a cooler line? Like, there's that, and then there's like, life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop to take a random look at it a little while, it might go. Whatever Ferris Bueller said, that was a cool line as well. But yeah, I think definitely in the moment, if you're, and also when you're writing a script, it's not, it's just on the paper. And then when you begin to say stuff, there's that classic Carrie Fisher thing of like, you can type this, but you can't say this. And I did sense that a little bit. But yeah, I definitely think it will lead to like more, a real performance, and also probably a funnier performance, like little jokes and stuff. And that's a big part of the the whole real sets practical effects sort of thing. I feel like in the prequels there wasn't much improv because people were so much of their brain power was trying to work out what was meant to be happening in the green room, or like there was so much, like when there's a big set, you don't have to use as much imagination, like, so you can use your brain power to think about your character and stuff. I remember I did an audition in Australia, Johnny, and it was for a very high paying soft drink commercial. And
get out. What drink?
I think it was like, I don't think they have it here. It's like a Euclizade or something. It was like some weird. It was not like.
Was it Shasta?
No. We don't have that. But anyway, it was for a drink, and you had to hold a bottle in the audition, but they didn't have a bottle, so they'd said, "Oh, just pretend you've got one," and it's like, I'm not here to do, like, are you hiring someone that can sell a drink, or you want like a performer that can do stuck in a glass box, like, or walk in the wind? Like, why not just have a bottle and then I can hold it? And then, and also I was noticing as I was doing each take, the bottle was like expanding and contracting in size because, like, I'm not a mime. Just give me a bottle. You can buy them for like $2 full of water. Like, come on.
Yeah.
It was a $50,000 job. Like, if I just had a bottle, I feel like I'd be $50,000 richer. What else is happening, Araj? What's going on? What Star Wars thoughts you got?
Well, I was going to tell you that I read this last week. Oscar Isaac said how impressed he was with JJ being so loose this time, and he doesn't have all the pressure in the world on his back as he did in the Force Awakens. So he's coming in a little bit looser, and he's got great ideas for this third one. So that was really interesting for me to hear him say.
I'm hearing, if like what Jason at MakingStarWars.net's reporting, it seems like it might be loose to the point of like he's writing today's script yesterday. It's which
kind of like Lost, how that was at the end.
Yeah, that part of it doesn't fill me with I don't know. I just wish just going with the script. If you're making it better, I guess, but
yeah.
I don't know. Write a script. Araj, before we let you go, do you want to get in a cheap plug for your awesome podcast?
Oh, well, yeah, sure. Thank you, Steele. Well, yeah, we are at the fifth list, and you can find us on the Making Star Wars Podcast Network, and we got some really cool New York Comic Con coverage where we had all kinds of interviews and great.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, we interviewed Mr. Johnny Grasso. We also interviewed
some great Irish accents happening, Steele.
Yeah,
great Irish accents.
Yeah, and you know what, Steele? It was all because of you, because you told me to go buy that digital recorder, and I did, and I used it the entire time, and it was pretty annoying, actually, in the face of everybody. But had a good time, so that's all on the sithlist.net, and then also you can find all of our stuff on Making Star Wars and iTunes and all that stuff. But I initially just wanted to come to see how much it costs to swim with Johnny Grasso. So thanks for letting me.
Excellent. Well, thanks, Araj, for vamping while Grasso was doing his thing. We appreciate that. Let's go to the king of all kings, Patreon supporter, the man that has his own guerrilla podcast network of shows he appears on. It is the king, King Tom. Good evening, sir.
Hey, Steele and Johnny, how are you?
What's up, Tom?
Not much. I'm a little upset at Araj because he took my dolphin question.
It's
Steele. Tom's from New Jersey.
What?
Yep. I'm living in Ohio now, but I grew up in New Jersey and New York. So Johnny and I had a little bit of a talk about that today.
What year did you? How old were you when you left? Because your voice is, it doesn't have that that Grasso essence about it.
You don't have that.
Yeah. No, I can pull it out every now and then. I've lived in Ohio for 19 years now.
Okay. Nice. So you saw the Phantom Menace and you're like, I have to move inland.
Kind of. I saw it out there a few times when I saw it out here. So kind of, I didn't move away after that.
Now,
I stayed because of Attack of the Clones.
Tight. Now, for people that our patrons get the audio of this on the audio feed through Patreon, but if you don't normally watch the YouTube feed, you have to go just for the bizarre. It's just like bizarre internetness of me talking in my house on the microphone, and then in the corner is Johnny floating with the dolphin. And wait, I feel like if I can move my hand, I might be able to hold it. Wait there.
You can rub it.
Look, I'm holding it.
There you go.
I'm casting a spell on you. Not good radio and probably not good visual either, but it helps me. But what's on your mind, Star Wars ways?
Well, Jerry is right underneath the picture of Johnny.
Really?
At least 15 seconds ago it was, yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's on the TV.
On top of that shelf.
Yeah. He's chilling. The Hypercat.
Yes.
Just kicking it.
Yes, that's what everyone is watching now anyway. Everyone's watching Jerry. No one's listening. It's okay.
All right, fine. What do you got for me, Tom, Star Wars wise?
Well, you kind of just mentioned, I wanted to talk about that article. I think, Jason's mentioned it. I thought I saw it somewhere else that said JJ is still writing. And I know that on The Force Awakens, when Harrison had the accident, Harrison Ford, that is, had the accident with the Falcon.
Thank you for clarifying that.
Right.
Just want to make sure. I know it's like, someone says.
Rumor has it that Steele's Harrison had 4 accidents this morning. So,
oh, dude.
There's a lot of Harrison.
Oh, my God.
Sorry about that, Steele.
I can't. His innards are functioning so well. Like, like all the pipes are working. Like, we're hashtag blessed, I guess, to have pipes. It's out of control. Jackie had a shower today, and I'm not saying, like, I don't know if she had a long shower or not, but in that shower, I did change his nappy 3 times. What's going on?
Sometimes you just gotta let it ride out and like wait a solid 10 minutes. Just make sure they're done. I hear.
Really?
Mhm.
Sounds like Star Wars Twitter.
I can confirm that.
But continue, Tom. Sorry, sir.
Okay, so Mr. Ford had the accident. They kind of stopped production, and it gave them the chance to rewrite parts of the script. And I've, I don't know exactly what's changed, but I've heard things here and there that have changed. And this doesn't sound like that, where they're taking a look at whole scenes and trying to make them better. But how much rewriting do you think JJ is doing? Do you think he's just doing, oh, this line would sound better if you said it like this? Or are they redoing whole parts of the script, character motivations, plot points? What's your take on that, basically, is what I wanted to know.
Johnny, do you want to hit that one?
Can I go first?
Yeah, of course you can.
Yeah. What from everything that I've done with my cheesy independent films and the tons of DVD commentaries I've listened to throughout my life, usually when they mention that they're writing on set and continuously writing, it is relatively large changes in the script, meaning scenes or plot points. Usually if it's just a line here and there, they don't mention that, because like Steele and I discussed earlier, like improv, you don't announce to the media that like, oh, we improv today and there's improv tomorrow. That's not rewriting the script. Rewriting the script, or writing on the fly, if you will, is changing scenes and plot points. So something's changing, something's evolving, and it's a good thing, because someone with the genius and work ethic of J.J. Abrams, if he sees something not working, like, he's confident enough in his art and his craft to change it on set with that talented cast and know he can pull it off. So I think where we were worried about it with Rogue One, and that's one with an O, we were worried about it then, but now we know it's going to make a better film. And I'm excited when I hear stuff like that.
Yeah, you're more confident about it than I am, Johnny. I'm not like kiboshing the movie or anything, but I just like The Force Awakens. I find like it's amazing, like it's such a good film, but it's to me it's sort of patchy, and there's, I don't know, it just, like, you can sort of see there's a few hints like about Rey that I feel like they did a U-turn on like midway through filming the movie. And I don't know, I just think you're wrapping up 9 films, like, and I'm all up for the improv and all that sort of stuff, but I'd feel a lot more confident if they were going in with this rock solid, like, killer script. Like, well, and as much as the controversial The Last Jedi, in some circles, I find that like a pretty rock solid Star Wars film. Like, it's weird because people argue the opposite, complete opposite, but to me it all makes perfect sense. The first half, like, almost spoils the second. They tell you what happens at the start of the film. And then, I just like all the little links, and then when you even like the little things, like the way the camera pans up when Rey is woken by Luke, how it's the same as Kylo Ren, like in the fight. Like, I just feel like it's such a beautifully put together artistic, like Lucas-esque with all these like visual cues and stuff. And yeah, I just worry when you're doing rewrites, when you're sort of making the hardest Star Wars film ever, maybe.
I see what you're saying about The Last Jedi, and I agree with you about that, but I'm going to say something that I don't think has ever been said before. Johnny's answer actually made me feel better, because it got me thinking about the TV show How I Met Your Mother. And I don't know how familiar you are with that, but it went, I think, like 10 years. And it was all the mystery about how the main character met the mother. And the way they did the show, they shot the very ending of the show during the first season. And they stuck to that ending throughout the 10 years, and the show drew on. And the last season of that show, everything depended on that ending they had and the characters evolved, the characters changed. And it just, for a lot of people, that last season, that last episode even, didn't work because it betrayed how they felt the characters grew and the characters they knew. And I think the script development on episode 9 obviously happened in a lot shorter time period than 10 years. It happened over a year and a few months that JJ started writing. But I think I'm glad that he feels free that he can change it because he realizes different things about this script now than when they started filming. So maybe there are some, thematic links and things like those different shots that match up. Maybe those are still there, but it's dialogue or other things the characters do that are changing because they make more sense. So thank you, Johnny.
I'm fascinated with how you met your mother insight. So they filmed the last scene in the first season.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah, it involved the main character talking to his kids, and they knew the kids weren't going to look the same whenever they ended the show, so they shot it then.
Okay. And they couldn't have just recorded different stuff that they were telling the kids? Or they just...
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. There's some part of me, my weird rule book OCD thing, where it's like I applaud it that they recorded it. And it's like, we have to stick to this. But if the characters went off on a different, like if the seasons 9 or 2 to 9 sort of betrayed the ending, like it doesn't make that much sense. Do you know what I mean? But
right.
Interesting. It's a fascinating concept though that they did record it at that time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, there are times it's a genius, hilarious show, and then it went on 8, 9, 10 seasons. So there is some dead time, especially when the whole idea of the show is building towards the main character meet a girl, and then they just drag it on and off, and there's like, is this her? No, that's not her. Is this her? No, that's not her. So yeah, it's an interesting show. It has some great moments, and then there are some times it just lets you down.
Anakin play into all of this? Really? Was she the mother, or what's going on with Alison Hannigan? Okay. That's right. What else happening in Star Wars that's exciting you at the moment, Tom?
.99% of Star Wars stuff that I ingest, I really like the extra stuff in the novel. So it's, 15-year-old novel, probably 16-year-old novel, giving me something new, which I'm very appreciative of.
Okay, I think there was a little bit of an audio glitch there, but I'm pretty sure we're back. If someone can let us know. Okay, we're back. Thank you, Raj. Thank you very much. And I know what I did to ruin that. So that is fine. There's a little glitch in Star Wars fandom this week, but I've seen a few people report this. The news that I just got texted by Eric Strathers is reported by Fanfatrax over in the UK, and that it's StarWars.com has removed its fan podcast page, which I full disclosure, we weren't on. I never really made any effort to get on it. Not that, yeah, not. I don't know. I just not on it, so it doesn't. Either way, it doesn't bother me. But they've removed their fan sites and podcasts from the community page, and in its place, it says, notice, Lucasfilm Limited strives to foster an inclusive, diverse, and safe environment for our fans, and we ask the same of our fan community. Fan organizations, website, blogs, clubs, podcasts, social media accounts, etc. I think you're the etc., Tom, are not owned, endorsed, sponsored, controlled, or in any way affiliated with Lucasfilm Limited. I don't know, man, because I've watched some pretty compelling YouTube videos which state that I'm taking bucket loads of cash from that company to say the things I say, even though they're not always that positive. And do not necessarily reflect the views or opinions of Lucasfilm Limited, the Walt Disney Company, or any of their affiliates, and no warranty expressed or implied is made regarding accuracy, adequacy, completeness, legality, reliability, or usefulness of any information. I like the detail they're going into to say that most of the time we're full of it. Please see terms of use agreements and privacy policies that apply to such third-party services and content. Star Wars logos, trademarks, character names, and all related elements are copyright and trademark Lucasfilm Limited and or the Walt Disney Company. So, obviously there's been some discourse in the fandom. Rebel Force Radio used to be on that page. They were taken off. And I think it's just gotten down to a point with, this is how I see it, and I think it's just fair enough. It's just too hard in this day and age to monitor all these podcasts to say which ones they're going to vouch for. They got movies, they got Mandalorian TV shows to make and stuff, and I think I cannot fault them. I just think it's easier that they wipe it. What do you think, Johnny?
I don't know if Johnny is still there, but I have something to say about it, if you don't mind.
Go for it. I've got Johnny back, but you go, Tom.
Okay. Like you said, it makes total sense. I'm surprised they didn't do it sooner. I work on a website, and I see a lot of comments from users, and you think that people out there are smart people, but we have links to outside websites, and we will get emails complaining about the content on those websites.
Well, it's just even when you look at sorry to jump in, Tom, but just to prove your point, it's like how Jason gets like emails about Star Wars and what they should do. People actually think he's making Star Wars, so they email him with critiques about the Star Wars film. So yeah, quite easy to do.
Mm-hmm.
If you're an idiot.
And I'm sure people think because they have a link to these different podcasts, different websites, blogs, whatever, that even that link is approval of whatever's on there. And it's clearly not. And I don't blame themselves for saving a headache that way.
Yeah, totally. Are you back with us, Johnny? This guy. Tom, this is what I'm going to do, Tom. Have you got the YouTube thing in front of you?
Yes.
All right, wait there. Something coming up in the next couple of seconds that we're gonna change the game. In the top corner. Bye Dolphin Boy. Bye Dolphin Boy. Where's he going? And there he goes. We got Tom back up there with his porg. You're the new guest host. Congratulations, Tom.
Oh, Sorry, Johnny.
All right, Grasso's called back in. Let's see if we can get him. Jonathan,
I'm here.
you've been replaced. We got rid of your penguin. I mean, your dolphin. King Tom's now got the...
that's a great picture of Tom.
It isn't even showing up for me yet. I'm not seeing anything different.
I like it.
Oh, wow. You're so behind.
Thank you.
You're so behind. Hey, just while we've got you guys all here, there's someone that's been on hold for about 20 minutes. So I want to check out what they are up to. 949, who are you and where are you calling from? 949. All right, maybe they're just listening in. We'll click that off. Johnny, we're just talking about how Lucasfilm has removed the fan podcast page from the community section of StarWars.com. Have you got a take on that one?
I do. I think they probably should have done that a long time ago because they had several podcasts up there, some of them that haven't even put out an episode in years. And it does kind of show that they support them. And I'm not, but some of them, a very small percentage, said some outlandish things in the past. So it does look like that StarWars.com supports some of those outlandish things, those smaller, that small group of podcasts might have said that really doesn't go well with what Disney or Lucasfilm represents. So I think it was a very smart move that they did that, and they probably should have done it years ago. Because even though it's not their intent, it kind of shows that they support some of those, let's just say, misogynistic things that some other podcasts might have said way back.
Yeah, and I the thing about podcasts that we all love is the freedom to say whatever you want to say and all that good stuff. And because of that, for a brand, it's really hard to know, who to validate. And I think it's easier just to go none rather than here's some that we've worked out sort of thing. So, and I don't know, was there many people checking out that page? I've never heard anyone reference it ever, except maybe when they were doing that Twitter research. That was the only time I ever I'd forgotten that it existed. One thing, if you guys have seen that, I'll put up on the. Oh, actually, it's just uploading, so I'll let it sweat. But it will be up in a second, and that is the bird's eye view photos of the Millennium Falcon almost finished at Galaxy's Edge at Disneyland down in Anaheim. You guys check that out? You guys?
I got to get on that Falcon.
Have you seen the photo, Johnny?
But I got to get on there.
Johnny.
I've seen, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
New deal. When I finish the sentence, you start one. Talk about the Falcon, Johnny. Johnny.
Oh, I need to get on the Falcon. I saw pictures. It's been like a childhood dream of mine. I once stood in my toy Falcon and shot it because I felt the need to just ride the Falcon one way or another. I went to Harry Potter Land or whatever they call it, Universal. It was amazing. And I have a feeling that Galaxy's Edge is going to be 1,000 times more magnificent than Harry Potter Land. I don't even like Harry Potter, but I was like swept away in that magical world. So Galaxy's Edge, I can't wait for. And I don't care how long that line is, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, getting on Falcon, and I'm going to be Han Solo. I'm going to find me a Chewbacca, and it's going to be one hell of a childhood ride. I'm going to be 6 years old again, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to be 6 years old again.
The image is now up on the YouTube screen, and I remember seeing the model at D23, and they had the little people on it and that, but seeing the actual photo, it is big. The land is you can see the bits, the outside bits, but then when you look above the Falcon, there you can see all the warehouse bits where the inside rides are going to be. And that is a vast, bit of Star Wars real estate work going there. Interestingly enough, if you guys can see this photo that's on the YouTube, if you see where the Falcon is, and then you look for, like, you go down the photo, like, I don't know, on my screen, it's about an inch. There is a circular building that its roof looks like it's R2-D2's dome. It's got that pattern on the roof that sort of looks like one of those giant windows is going to open up and shoot out a 20-foot tall lightsaber.
Yeah.
Maybe I've just got to ignite the green on the brain, but it is very exciting. And I saw on Making Star Wars, Jason had some report about it's just like a 10-foot tall, like, hammerhead statue, an Thorian statue that's going to be somewhere in Galaxy's Edge, which is that sort of stuff, like the random, like, we've got the rides, and, you know, we know there's going to be like the AT-ATs there and the Falcon ride and all that good stuff, but all the little Easter eggs, like, for one, who's got that job of making all these Easter eggs? Because you're living large. But, like, I know when you go on the Guardians of the Galaxy ride at California Disney, you know, there's just so many, like, even in the lines, there's so many little Easter eggs with, like, like, characters and stuff. And
Yep.
that's, I just think, like, just walking around and just finding little bits of, you know, like, in-universe Star Wars culture, it's going to be good. Man, it's going to be good.
It's going to be like you're living in Ready Player One with all the references around you.
I hope it's going to be better than that.
Oh, but you didn't like the movie?
Yeah.
Your buddy's in it.
I know. I liked him in Girls a lot more. Hey, we've got some callers, so let's see what they're up to. Do you want to hang out for a little bit, King Tom, as your co-host, or should we just kick Grasso off?
I actually have to go. My son needs to talk to me. So this is what you're gonna have to look forward to in a few years, Steele.
Oh yeah, but see, the way I'm gonna do it, I'm just gonna change the photo now. I'm gonna get rid of you, Tom, and I'm putting Dolphin Boy back up there.
That's fine. It's an honor just to be up there.
Thank you. I think we're going to try establish in our household that when my son wants to talk to me, he can call in to the call-in show. And it's all got to be content. It's all well.
And press one if he has something to say.
Yeah. And I know Claire's on hold. If you want to chat, Claire, press 1. We'd love to chat to you. And 949. If you want to chat, press 1 on your touch little thing there, and we'll chat to you. But hopefully Claire will want to talk to us. Maybe she's just a sticky beak. I don't know. But Tom, as a father, buddy, what's the right age to teach a child about content?
It's never too early. You can go with 3 months.
Okay, great. All right. I can't wait now. This is going to be the longest 2 months of my life. I can't wait. Hey, Tom, thanks so much for calling in. And what other podcasts will you be appearing on this week?
I put in a call to the Sith List, Blue Harvest, probably Bad Motivator. They're talking Vader, or if they're slacking, then they probably won't till next week. And maybe I'm a fan of many podcasts.
Nice.
But
as am I.
know, these are some of my favorites.
I love that.
And obviously, anytime.
Oh, sorry, Tom. I was going to say.
Anytime they have me, I'm honored. Go ahead.
I love when you call in to Blue Harvest about you're ahead of where they are in comics. Like, you've done more research for their podcast than they have. It's beautiful.
Okay.
Well,
you still there?
I am there. I don't.
Tom, can you hear me?
Oh my God.
You dropped out for a second.
Gotcha. Hey, thanks so much for calling in, Tom. I really appreciate it, buddy, and I'll hopefully talk to you next week.
Thanks for having me.
Cheers.
Later, New Jersey, Tom.
See you, Grasso.
Born and raised. Now, Johnny, we are both pushing, which we should have done earlier in the show. I apologize to everyone for this, but the Kessel Toy Run, buddy. Give the listeners the lowdown on what's going on there.
All right. Well, there's an amazing gentleman named Brandon Manriquez who started the Kessel Toy Run last year to help sick children in the hospital in which he works. He's an RN. His name's Brandon Manriquez. He's probably one of the most amazing people I've ever spoken to. He's one of those Star Wars collectors and Star Wars enthusiasts that do nothing but share his knowledge with others, no matter how well or how not well he knows the person. He's just so giving. And for him to do this for his children, now this is the second year, is just amazing. And I'm proud to know that he's going to be on Rogue One Thursday, episode 132, to discuss everything he loves about Star Wars, to discuss his passion for collecting, and of course, to discuss the Kessel Run 2. And you can follow the Kessel Run at the Kessel Run on Twitter, and all the information is on the Twitter page. Or you can email the Kessel Run the Kessel Run at Gmail. For information on how you can donate to the children at the hospital. It's an amazing cause. I was so happy to be a small part of it last year. I'm ecstatic to be a larger part of it this year. I'm so passionate about it. As you guys know, that I am a teacher. I genuinely love children, and people like Brandon who help kids like this. It's just extremely moving. And if you can just help out just a little bit, anyone that's listening, please do so. But Brandon will do a much better job explaining it. He's going to do all the podcasts. There's so many podcasts involved. Steele Wars is involved. Now this is podcasting, Making Star Wars.net. Jason Ward's involved. Blue Harvest is involved. The Sith List is involved. Rebel Girls involved. There's so many amazing podcasts involved. And Brandon's going to make the rounds. He's just stopping by Rogue One on Thursday, so check it out. He'll do a great job explaining it, but it's just an amazing thing. What do you think, Steele?
I think we should say that the Twitter address is the Kessel Toy Run. So get a toy in there to get to him, but I'm sure everyone would have worked that out. But it's insane. Like, these sick kids that are having like the worst time ever. I had a pretty #blessed childhood and didn't have to spend that much time in hospital. I had a bit of asthma, and I remember those times kind of being a bit of a bummer, but I wasn't sick enough to like. I think I was also kind of enjoying my time off school, so I was pretty lucky. But these kids that Brandon is hooking up with Star Wars toys, like, it just brings so much happiness to them and their families. You know, also, like, they got such a good result last year that brothers and sisters were getting toys, which is awesome. And I don't know, I love seeing kids get Star Wars toys because I remember the joy it brought me. And for a kid that's like having a hard time in hospital, if, you know, like a Rey or a Luke Skywalker figure or a Kylo Ren or, you know, Anakin Skywalker, whatever, Darth Maul, if, you know, getting that toy and that like takes the focus off whatever's happening that's miserable in your day with needles and drips and tests and all that sort of stuff. You know, it's, you know, and even now, like, I, you know, pray, that, you know, little Harrison's never in line to receive a toy from, you know, Brandon's amazing project, but it definitely kicks my ass to, you know, get things going for this year. And Brandon's going to be on Steele Wars in the next couple of weeks, and we'll be doing a few things to raise both cash, and you can send in, you know, new toys in packets. Don't send your old toys, you guys. If, you know, if you've got toys you want to get rid of, eBay to buy some new stuff for these kids. But it's such a great cause, and it's the Jedi thing to do. Do you know what I mean? I have this tweet that I retweet now and again, and it baffles me how people can watch Star Wars over and over and not pick up on its moral messages. And it upsets me when, people are so, they're not making George Lucas proud with the way they act or react to things in Star Wars. But then there's things like, the Kessel Toy Run that is like, I feel like that's the sort of thing that, George Lucas would go, that's pretty good. That's pretty good, Jon Favreau on the set of The Mandalorian. You see what these guys are doing, Same with like, the 501st and, the Mando Mercs, all those guys that are doing like charity events and stuff. Like that is that is why Star Wars fandom rules. And we need that sort of stuff now more than ever. And, the end result of getting these sick kids getting decked out with, and these toys, you remember the toys you guys had when you were little, whether you had, I listened to your episode this week and it's just the name of your guest has just dropped out of my head, Johnny. So help me out. Johnny is gone. I'm just talking by myself, but, oh my God, I wish I could remember her name. Johnny will be back in a second and he can tell me. But she was saying about, she's got this old beaten up Millennium Falcon that, has little to no collecting value, but it was her Falcon when she was little. And there's just so many memories around that. And I think we've all got toys like that. Mine's my little stuffed Ewok, my little Kenner foot-high Ewok. And these toys that you're going to donate are going to be those kids' memories that bit of plastic kept them happy when they were sick little kids. So, yeah, the Kessel Toy Run. That is the address on Twitter and Instagram. If I'm waiting for Johnny to come back so we can... Oh, here he is. Grasso.
Hello.
Hey, buddy.
Yeah.
I just threw back to you with a question. I was like, oh, Johnny's not there. And I managed just to talk without knowing you were gone for about 2 minutes. But what was the name of your guest on the podcast this week?
Dr. Robin Bokra.
Robin.
Amazing woman.
Yeah. I was just saying, I'm not sure if you could hear, but, like Robin was talking about that beat up Millennium Falcon that she owns that, has no collecting value, but it was hers when she was little and it means a lot. And you've got these memories around it. And what I was saying was these toys that we're donating to the Kessel Toy Run, these, like that bit of plastic that you send, more than likely will be, that kid's happy memory, when they're older and they look back at when they were sick in hospital, but they'll have like, I love that Kanan Jarrus figure so much. Like I'd hug it every night. Like you are creating these great memories for kids. So all the podcasts in the Making Star Wars Network will be prattling on about this over the next month. Last year it got featured in the Star Wars Insider, and if you see photos of how many toys that were donated, it was tremendous. But we're going to knock it out of the park this year. Am I right, Jonathan Grasso?
Absolutely. And you know what the best part was? You had cosplayers like Sal Perales and other people. You had a woman dressed up like Rey giving a Rey doll to a little girl. It was one of the most amazing things I've ever seen. It was beautiful.
That is pretty cool. That is pretty cool. I hope she had an English accent when she spoke, because the Reys at Disneyland, when you go in for the photo op and they speak with that, they're obviously American, but they've got this like English accent. It made me quiver. I definitely fanned out on a girl dressed up as Daisy Ridley because she had an English accent. But Kessel Toy Run. Let's bring it home, Johnny. We've got a couple of people on hold, but they haven't pressed a little one. So I'm figuring they're just here to listen in, which you can do if you're in the car. I know Patreon member Tim does that. He just rings in and he can listen to the podcast live as it's recorded. And if you ever want to do that, probably just put in your speed dial, your contacts, the number, which is 646-668-8360. And you can call in to listen live whenever you wish. We're running every Friday night, 5 Pacific, 8 Eastern, and when there's news sufficiently, we'll do it Tuesday nights as well. Johnny Grasso, you are the host of the Rogue One podcast, one of my favorite podcasts to listen to for
Thank you.
all the breaking Thundercats news I can rely on. I'm sorry. It is a great podcast. Tell us all about it.
Thank you so much.
Give us the spiel. Give us the plug, buddy.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Give you the plot of the podcast?
Yeah, give us some sizzle. Get people to listen to it. This is not how to do it by...
Right. Oh, I wasn't sure if you heard me. All right. So basically, Rogue One, a Star Wars podcast for winners, and that's one with a W. We cover anything and everything, very much a Star Wars podcast. We do a lot of pop culture. We have a lot of funny segments like Dude, That Guy. Pitch Lucasfilm has been a fan favorite lately. And we will be doing some amazing projects, actually. There is something, actually, Steele, Dom Legaspi, who did that Snoke sticker video for you. Him and I are collaborating on a project. A little sizzle here. Yeah, a little scissor here. I'll give you a hint. It's something to do with music, and him and I are collaborating on it, and we're going to go after the trolls. We're going after the trolls.
Johnny, are you composing a battle rap?
Maybe.
Nice. I have enjoyed every time you have delved into the musical pool, buddy. Big fan.
I will say this deal. I'm not going to tell you it's good. It's probably not. But I've never worked harder on anything in my whole life than this song.
That is some depressing honesty there, buddy. Hey, John. It was awesome to have you on the show. I really appreciate it. And everyone listening should go check out Rogue One, a podcast for winners, as it's quite a ride. It is quite a ride. And I'd like to thank everyone in the chat room, all our callers, our Patreon supporters. It is so appreciated. For just $1 a month, you can support the podcast, which works out to 23 cents a week. And at the $1 tier, you get access to all the back episodes of the Steele Wars podcast, uncut and uninterrupted by announcements and commercials, that sort of thing. And you also get the Hypernews shows as an audio exclusive on the $1 tier. For $3 a month, you get all that, as well as our exclusive Patreon shows like Making Steele Wars with Jason Ward, the Robbo Report with our buddy Robbo, the Q&As, and amongst all the shows, the Juklin Strikes Back with my wife. We did a review of our new baby Harrison and of Star Wars Resistance, which was really fun. And I'm working on now the second episode of your podcast partners, Hors Burkhardt, and my Patreon show, Star Wars Year by Podcast, where we go through the history of Star Wars year by year. And where this episode is our last sort of episode before Star Wars commences, which hopefully will be up next week in audio and video. And it's 1970 to 1973, which it's, as you know, Johnny, it's super fun talking Star Wars with the bit of knowledge, Hors Burkhardt.
Oh, my God. One of my best friends.
The best of fun. And the thing I love about you guys being best friends, how many times have you met in person?
I spent 1 week with him in Orlando, Florida during Star Wars Celebration, and I feel like I've known him my whole life.
Star Wars fandom, you guys. It can be pretty good. If you've watched to now and you're having a good time, hit a thumbs up and write a comment. Let us know what you thought of the show. It is a pleasure to record these for you, and really hope you enjoy it. But a little bit of interaction on the YouTube helps us bump us up the algorithm or something, and let's get rid of all these hateful lying turds. I'm done with it. It's all about the Force.
Yes.
And
Absolutely.
thanks so much, Johnny. May that Force be with you. And there'll be a new episode of a Steele Wars maybe over the weekend with an interview with a couple of people from ILM, Industrial Light and Magic, talking solo. So I might get that done overnight. So look out for that. That will be in podcast and video form. Thank you, Johnny. It's always a treat. And may that Force be with you.
Always. Man, that was stressful.